I'm excited to introduce a bill that I think will be very important for our young people. As you look out and you see these great players and maybe a future major leaguer, it gives you an understanding about why this is so important. And I am proud to be the author of the Tobacco-Free Baseball Act. This legislation would prohibit the use of any tobacco product anywhere in a baseball venue in California. We all know the impact that smokeless tobacco can have on anyone's lives. We've heard countless stories. Sadly, we lost a baseball giant in Tony Gwynn, who was very open in his belief that the cause of his cancer that ultimately took his life, salivary gland cancer, came from chewing tobacco. We've also heard now from other players who have been impacted. Curt Schilling, who has been diagnosed with oral cancer, who has already talked about how chewing for 30 years is how he believes he has developed this disease. And obviously we're very saddened to lose Mr. Gwynn, and we send our sympathies to Mr. Gwynn's family, Alicia Gwynn and Tony Gwynn Jr. and all of their family. We want this to be a different narrative and a different conversation for young people, for athletes, to really change practices, because we know that young people look up to baseball players as role models, and we don't want them to emulate certain practices. I did too. We played baseball as a kid, and we chewed gum because I couldn't afford chewing tobacco. But we chewed gum because we wanted to look like the players that we emulated. We want to make sure that today's players, young people, don't emulate the use of chewing tobacco into their lives. California's been a leader in many things, and we believe this will be a great opportunity for California to continue to lead into prohibiting chewing tobacco from our sports venues. We've got 5 major league teams, more than any other state, and we think that we want to send the message by making sure that our host teams will make sure that we can bring the great game to the fans, but without the use of chewing tobacco. This legislation won't affect what players do. It just says that we want you to change your habits in the presence of our kids. We know that our kids are watching the game on TV and they're watching it in the stadiums. And so this is sending a message that we want you to change your behavior in the presence of our kids. Baseball stadiums are public places, they're workplaces, they're public stadiums, and we think that it's important for us to take this important step. So we're asking that we want to let the memories of someone like Tony Gwynn be on all the records that he created, and that this might be one additional piece to the legacy of a great player like Tony Gwynn, that people can think that because of his advocacy and his honesty and his courage, that we might prevent illness from impacting young people and future athletes.
We all love the game of baseball. This is my 3rd year playing Little League Baseball. And last year, my team, the North Oakland Lake Monsters, won the District 4 Tournament of Champions. It was really cool. My friends and I look up to the pros. Players like Buster Posey, Madison Bumgarner, and Coco Crisp. These are our heroes. We watch everything they do, how they act when they win and when they lose, how they play, what they do when they warm up, how they act in the dugout, and what they say on TV. We want to grow up and become one of them. When I see players on TV chewing tobacco, I am sad and confused. I'm sad because even though I'm only 10 years old, I know that tobacco is really, really bad for them and that they can get cancer from it. I'm confused because I don't understand why people I admire so much are doing this.
Look, I know what it is to lose somebody to cancer. I lost my mother to cancer when I was 6 years old. I lost my father to colon cancer 2 years ago. So anybody who wants to take on the issue and say that you shouldn't do it because of barriers, I would say, look, let's not let inconvenience stop somebody from being healthy. And this is obviously the right thing to do. We have data, we have statistics that show it. We've lost giants in the field. I don't know what's more powerful, though, from hearing from young people who say, these are the people that we look up to, and we emulate what they do. If that's not enough expertise for us, I don't know what else is. So I think anybody who wants to take us on for saying we want to protect young people, that's a fight that we're ready to take on.
Unfortunately, I know that a lot of kids also like to imitate their favorite players by chewing tobacco. They think it's really cool to be like the pros and have a big wad in their mouth. If the pros are doing it, it must be okay, right? The thing is, it's not okay. It's just not. And players who do it are setting a bad example for kids like me. It's time to play ball and strike tobacco out of the ballpark.